Okay, good morning. So I'm Carolyn Gonot, General Manager and CEO of the Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority. Yeah, thank you. And I'm so proud to welcome you here to cut the ribbon on this very special project we have been working on for more than 10 years, and it's finally a reality. The Tamien Station Apartments are 135 affordable housing units in a variety of sizes, from studios up to 3-bedroom apartments. And possibly one of the most exciting things about this building, in addition to the fact that it's next to the train and light rail stations, is that it has a daycare center right on the premises. And for parents, you know that is not a small significance. And some of the other amenities that are included is a food pantry, a homework center, a community room, and a rooftop playground and barbecue area. And this is just the beginning for this community. When this development is finished in a few years, there will be 477 apartments with a mix of affordable and market rate units. And it took a lot to get to this point, and our guest speakers today are members of a very important group who made it happen, especially the core companies and Republic Urban Properties, who I want to thank. And you will hear from them in a moment. But first, I would like to introduce VTA's Board Chair and Campbell City Council Member, Sergio Lopez.
Welcome, everyone. So excited to be with you today. I'm a lifelong Santa Clara County resident, born and bred, and my earliest memories are of growing up in a 1-bedroom apartment. And although I wouldn't have known this at the time, looking back, we faced what we now call housing insecurity. We weren't always sure how we would keep a roof over our heads. Whether it's that 1-bedroom apartment or later when my parents scrimped and saved to buy a home, I know what it's like to not know where that next payment is going to come from. And while my dad was always out working, there were 3 letters that brought me comfort as a young kid, wasn't even old enough to talk. VTA. Because when I saw that the bus go by, when I went on the bus, when I went on the light rail, that was me. I would look back later and realize that's how I knew I was part of a community and part of this broader network of families and support and people who were there, because we didn't have that car. That was how we got around. And so I can't think of a better way to bring those values together and to live out our values. And it's so important in this time where so many people doubt our institutions to show that we can actually do better, that we've done it, we're going to learn, we're going to share everything that we've done here, and in partnership with all the people you're going to hear from today. And that brings us to why we're here today. So I'm going to give you just a few numbers. This, as you heard, is the first of what's going to be 2 more phases. So it's so important that we keep up the momentum for phases 2 and 3. VTA has 10 transit-oriented community projects in the works, including one coming up in my city of Campbell that we're so proud. And that will be a total of 2,000 housing units, which will generate tens of millions of revenue to sustain VTA's operations, to go back into transit funding, to help build more connected communities, to build out the resiliency of our transit-oriented communities portfolio. And you're going to hear a lot of numbers today. You're going to hear units thrown around. And when you hear the word units today, I want you to think units equals families, because those are parents, children, elders who will be able to have a roof over their heads, who will be able to live more affordably, who will be able to have just that extra bit of comfort of knowing that that they'll be safe at night and their families protected. And so this is the culmination of many, many years of work. I'm so excited this is the first in our portfolio that we're launching. But it also has to be just the start, because not only are there phases 2 and 3 that are going to come in this project, we have so many more, because the scale of the problem that we face in Silicon Valley is so great. I believe there's no greater problem that we face as a community. Through wisdom, a house is built. By understanding, it is established. And by knowledge, it is filled. It takes a foundation of common sense, that policy, to build that foundation, understanding to get across the finish line, and then knowledge that we're going to build on to work together to make sure that this is just the first, not the last project. And I don't know about you, but that gives me hope. And we have to make sure that we say, we're just getting started with this. Thank you all. I'm going to briefly make some remarks in Spanish as well for our Spanish TV. Como presidente de la mesa directiva de VTA, me enorgullece el trabajo sin descanso de nuestros empleados para brindar servicio cada día, para conectar a los miembros de nuestra comunidad con la educación, con la salud, la economía, la oportunidad y los unos a los otros. La transportación pública conecta a nuestras comunidades. Eso es algo que yo vi creciendo aquí. Pero me da esperanza y me inspiran proyectos como la estación de Tamien, en que hemos creado una comunidad. VTA es un líder a nivel nacional en desarrollar e implementar comunidades alrededor del transporte público que son también financieramente sostenibles. Entre otras agencias de transporte similares a nivel nacional, destacamos por nuestro compromiso con este tipo de trabajo y la diversidad de nuestro portafolio. Esta es una parte muy importante de nuestra historia. Y proyectos como este aquí hoy, que estamos celebrando, vienen todos diferentes tamaños. Y cada uno mejora a nuestro condado y contribuye en su propia manera a la calidad de vida de todas nuestras comunidades. Los departamentos de la estación Tamien son los primeros de 2 fases en este sitio. VTA tiene 10 proyectos en los que está trabajando con más de 2,000 unidades habitacionales y decenas de millones de nuevos ingresos para servicios de VTA. Y VTA está enfocado en eso, los resultados. Y los departamentos de aquí, de la estación Tamien, el primer proyecto de esta fase, y la industria que está liderando el programa de comunidades alrededor del transporte público, son prueba de ello. Y hoy tenemos que decir que aquí no es el fin, eso solo es donde empezamos. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Chair. And we know, as we mentioned, that affordable housing is one of the biggest challenges that we have in our valley. And San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan has kept that issue at the top of his agenda. We are fortunate to have Mayor Mahan as the Vice Chair of VTA, and he joins us today.
Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? Good. What a turnout. I love to see all this energy. Congratulations, Carolyn. This is a huge milestone. It's great to be here with you all. Congratulations to everyone. This is a representation of a really big idea finally starting to come to fruition. VTA has a bold vision, as you heard from VTA Chair Lopez, to build over 2,500 housing units, i.e. homes for families, on public land, on VTA land adjacent to transit service. This is maybe an obvious idea, but it's a really big idea, and it's easier said than done. But I'm glad to see we now have the first project delivered. Homes for over 100 families in our community who otherwise would likely be at risk of displacement to other parts of the state or even other states. It's not just providing housing, it's also making our transit agency more viable, because when you live and work near transit, it becomes a key amenity that you actually use, which then means we've got fare box recovery and we can afford greater service levels. So there's a positive, virtuous cycle or synergy there. It also then means less congestion and air pollution for everybody else. And it allows us, with this denser format, to start to build more mixed-use, dense, walkable communities. They're not just one-off buildings. We can actually start to think about how we change our urban environment for generations to come to be more conducive to the quality of life and kind of opportunity we want to offer to people. So I'm really excited about this. I think it is smart growth at its best. And it takes leadership and vision and what we're so known for in our valley, innovation, thinking differently to deliver this kind of project. And that starts with the leadership at VTA. So thank you again to Carolyn and the team. I know Jessie O'Malley must be here somewhere. There she is, heading up real estate for VTA. And they've worked really hard to think differently so that our transit agency can act differently. Also a huge thank you to Preston Prince and Santa Clara County, the Housing Authority here, as well as our county. I see Supervisor Young is here. We're in her district. And Catherine Kaminsky at the Office of Supportive Housing, and all the folks at the county who I know have partnered very closely and provided funding and support. Of course, the voters of our county, there are Measure A funds in the project. Want to shout that out. And then, of course, David Neal and Chris Neal and Core Companies who built the project, and it looks great. Well done. The project is beautiful. I can already imagine these 100-plus families using the park here, just the landscaping. Look at how convenient. It's just awesome. Well done. Really, really well done. I know Michael Van Avery in Republic Urban is also involved. Michael, thank you. And then all the funders. And I have to shout out, we have the director of HCD, Gustavo Velasquez, is here. Gustavo, thank you for making the trip down from Sacramento. I want everyone here to be extra nice to Gustavo because he approves our housing element, which, if you don't know, is critically important for us to have approved, or we end up with builder's remedy and all kinds of crazy things we don't want. So we're going to build housing the right way with help from our friends at HCD. Thank you for being here, Gustavo. And then City of San Jose provided substantial funding, as did, I know, HUD also. So I'll just end on this. There's another phase, as was mentioned. And on Tuesday, we have what we're lovingly calling Housing Day at San Jose City Council, where we have 4 or 5 items coming to the council where the question before us is, are we going to be bold and push ourselves to remove costs, remove barriers to building the housing we need? Last year, we passed our multifamily housing incentive. We said, who cares about all these one-time fees that make these projects so expensive when they prohibit us from building the project? Let's get the building in the ground, have the housing for people, and then you get all that recurring revenue from sales tax and property tax and all that other good stuff. And guess what? Last year, 2,000 new units of multifamily housing broke ground that had been stuck in the pipeline for years. So on Tuesday, so thank you to my colleagues on the council. If I ever shut up, you're going to hear from council members Tordillos and Mulcahy in a second. But on Tuesday, we're voting to extend it, and guess what? There are another 2,000 units that we believe will break ground over the coming year if we extend that incentive, including getting phase 2 of this project going forward. So I know these council members don't need to be convinced, but we have 9 other colleagues, so I guess 8 other colleagues. All right, so I'll end on that. My Spanish is not nearly as good as our chair, so I'm only going to say like 2 sentences in Spanish, but in case it is useful for our friends in the media. La estación de Tamien marca el inicio del plan de VTA para construir miles de nuevas viviendas cerca del transporte público. Este es un gran uso de terrenos públicos para el beneficio de la comunidad y espero con entusiasmo iniciar la construcción de más viviendas este año. Gracias a todos, and I'll turn it back over to Carolyn. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Mayor. And before we hear from a few more of our elected officials, I really want to thank one of our core partners in being able to develop this. Our next speaker is the president of one of the most active developers in our county, in our valley, in the work to create affordable housing. So I want to welcome Chris Neal from Core Companies.
Wow. Oh my goodness, see all the people back there. This is amazing. I'm feeling so grateful. I'd say that's my word for the day. Just feeling so grateful to share the podium with this group and what we're celebrating today. But I feel a little bit like the Oscar times, right? I got a limited time to make my speech and say my thank you, so hopefully you don't hear the music pulling me off the stage. The Core Companies, we have more than 40 years of history delivering all types of housing across Silicon Valley for both the region's workforce and for its most vulnerable residents, each designed to meet the diverse needs of the community. We are very excited that Tamien Station provides 135 homes. We talk units, but we're really in the homes business, for families on multimodal mass transit, with child care center on the property to serve both our residents and the community. And now the thankful part, and it's a long list of folks to be thankful for, but so please bear with me. First and foremost, our partnership with VTA reflects a shared commitment to our community and a belief that pedestrian-friendly neighborhoods with reliable access to transportation are healthier and are more sustainable. Thank you to General Manager Gano, VT Board Chair Lopez, and Caltrain Board Chair Medina, and all the staff, the numerous staff who worked hours and years with us to help make this project happen. And I know this is first of many, many, many more to come. So thank you, VTA. Gustavo, I'm so proud that you took the trip and the time to come down here and celebrate with us. Please take our appreciation back to your staff who worked long hours and very diligently to help us get here. And please share our appreciation with the leaders and staff at SILAC and TCAC. These projects don't work without an amazing partnership between our state representatives and our county and local government agencies. And it's very critical to the success of these projects, so thank you very much. Speaking of the local level, thank you to the leadership and staff from the City of San Jose, the County of Santa Clara, and the Housing Authority. I would like to thank every single person who spent time on this project, but the list is too long and I'll bore you to death. But I just want you to know and the staff to know how important you guys are to the work that we do here, and we appreciate it. Not only is the significance of the dollars and economics that you contributed, but I'm very proud to announce that in time for the holidays, we were able to move 135 families into their homes in time for the holidays. So that was a huge success. And I do want to acknowledge another key teammate in that process is our property manager, the John Stewart Company. They were the glue to make it happen, and we thank you for your commitment to CORE and for taking care of our property and taking care of our residents. Matt, Betty, Anthony, and Michael, not only thank you for all that you have done to help make this project happen, but really more importantly, kind of what the mayor suggested, what you are doing and doing in the future to help make housing more attainable for the community. The council hearing coming up next week, I encourage folks to get involved, but it's those efforts to make housing quicker to market, more cost-effective to build, and the great work by the county to serve the residents in the community and provide more resources. It's really the ultimate team sport. I say that at every of our groundbreakings, but it really is. Thank you for what you've done, but even more importantly, thank you for what you're continuing to do and the leadership in the space to make more of these happen. And then I need to address a couple of our financial partners, but most importantly, and I haven't seen him yet, but I think he's here, Kevin Kilbane, our equity partner, right? These projects take a lot of money, and so I want to let Kevin, who will be up later on, and JP Morgan Chase. They've invested in CORE and they've invested in San Jose. So without those other capital partners, right, this is all about bringing all the different stakeholders together. So Kevin, thank you for your commitment to CORE and to San Jose. Appreciate it. And it was referenced before, again, we have a great partner in here. So Republic Urban Properties is here. They've been a partner with us side by side for 10 years to get phase 1 going, and we're excited. We're submitting for the next rounds, and hopefully we'll be here to celebrate a groundbreaking, if not later this year, early next year. So Republic Urban Properties, thank you for your partnership. And then last but not least, I'm almost done. I want to thank the CORE team, CORE Builders and Development. You guys are an amazing team. And the mountains that you guys moved to make this project happen at the quality level and the timing is remarkable. So I really thank you guys for all your hard work. And you guys are all wizards in my eyes. And so in conclusion, this housing business is not for the faint of heart. But when you work with the leaders like those whom I'm sharing the stage with, and the amazing staff that they represent, there is nothing I would rather do when I get out of bed every morning. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. This housing problem, of course, is not confined to just San Jose. Our Board of Supervisors has been working very hard to tackle this across the county. And so I want to please welcome our VTA alternate board member and county supervisor, Betty Young.
morning, everyone. Feeling good? All right. Oh my God, my friends. There's so many people back there. There are empty seats up here. Please make your way up. Have a seat. Let's hang out together. I see like a roll right here waiting for you. Hi, everyone. My name is Betty Young. I have the great privilege and pleasure of serving on the Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors, representing District 2, which is the eastern half of San Jose, so best district in the world, from downtown to east side. The County of Santa Clara, VTA, City of San Jose are our regional partners. This community has a long history of stepping up when the moment calls for it. When our community faces big challenges, this community doesn't wait for a playbook. We build one, and then we share it with others. So 10 years ago, this project was an idea, it was an aspiration, right? What we see here today. 10 years ago, we also had another aspiration, the 2016 Measure A housing bond measure. So this is its, yes? Yeah, let's clap for it. It was the first housing bond measure of its kind at that level of magnitude, an ambitious goal of building 4,400 units of affordable housing in 10 years. In 8 years' time, we delivered on more than 6,000 units of affordable housing. Why am I bringing that up today? Because as we see the conclusion of our 2016 affordable housing bond measure, we get to bookend that journey with $25 million of Measure A in this project before you. We achieved this together, and Tamien Station reflects the best of what our community does. With the $25 million funding in Measure A, this development will provide housing for 67 rapid rehousing households, 67 families who, at the time that they are rapidly rehoused, means that that night they had nowhere to go. They will come home here. They will come home to a safe harbor with supportive services and up to 2 years of rental assistance. This is our community directly investing in our residents' stability, dignity, and opportunity. This project also recognizes that housing doesn't exist in isolation. Public transportation, childcare, addressing one of the biggest challenges families face, accessing safe, affordable childcare and safe, affordable housing next to reliable transportation. This is the ultimate unsiloing of government. And it's not what you hear today. The theme of today is that this is not the end. We're not patting ourselves on the back today. We're high-fiving each other to get ready for the next phases. So I look forward to 10 more years of more housing development, more growth, more opportunity, and more audacious, bold ideas to do what other counties may be not ready to do yet. But Santa Clara County has always been there to build the playbook with our city partners, with our regional partners, with VTA. So thank you to all the staff that was involved in this, had a hand in this. It was 10 years in the making, and I can't wait to join you in welcoming home our newest families and neighbors. Congratulations. And there are still seats up here. Can't wait to celebrate with y'all.
Thank you. So this station, the Tamien Station, actually is a neighborhood that is right on the border of 2 San Jose City Council districts. So I'd like to invite those city council members up to say a few words. First, District 3 Council Member Anthony Tordillos.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Anthony Tordillos, and I have the privilege of representing this beautiful new community on the San Jose City Council as the District 3 representative. The Tamien Station Apartments really, to me, represents so much of what we talk about when we're talking about building vibrant communities. It obviously has close proximity to transit, it has investments in safer streets, it has easy access to high-quality open space here at Tamien Park, and it has housing choices for families at different income levels and different sizes, from studios all the way up to 3-bedroom homes. I had the opportunity to walk through this building a couple months back with Chris and some of the other folks from the core team, and it really is a beautiful building that has been thoughtfully designed that I'm confident is really going to serve our residents well. And this is a place where people can actually put down roots in our city with the sort of long-term stability that only permanent affordable housing can provide. This project will mean that 135 new families can find a home in this neighborhood, along with the planned on-site daycare facilities that will help to support working parents in our community and strengthen local connections. And since it is adjacent to Caltrain and VTA light rail and bus service, it means that these new neighbors will be able to commute and shop and explore the region without relying on a car. We know that transit-oriented communities help to create safer, more welcoming, and more vibrant spaces where people can walk, bike, and engage with their neighbors. So I'm very proud to see a project like this one finding success here in District 3. So I just want to thank the core companies, Republic Urban, and all of the other project partners who made this project a reality. Thank you for investing in our community here in District 3, and I'm so excited to see the future phases of this project come to life in the years ahead. So thank you.
Thank you, Council Member. All right, so our next speaker is alternate member of the VTA Board of Directors, as well as San Jose City Council Member Michael Mulcahy. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. What a great day. This is like the best job that we have, to join for ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings, and I know so much work goes into making these happen, so I won't add on, but just know that, I'm so grateful as a sitting city council member to have committed developer partners, financiers, and the will to make things like this happen. So we are standing here right at the confluence of District 6, just on the other side of 87, and District 3, you just heard from my colleague, Councilmember Tordillos. We actually share this station because you can get to it from both District 6 on the other side and District 3 where we are today. We are really building a fabulous community here of density. Now, for those of you who don't know the history of this broader area, it was like the antithesis of this. It was a monster bowling alley and a big golf course here back in the day. And so to see the kind of residential units created here is pretty incredible. Just one more reason to make sure that we're committed to trying to get electrified rail south of Diridon to serve not only this station, but all of our willing partners down in South County. So you have my commitment in the role of my role as the Diridon Steering Committee member, as well as my role on the VTA. So we got to continue to do that. The Tamien Station Apartments and the density development around it shows how we can grow without sprawl, reduce congestion, and create climate-friendly neighborhoods that are enjoyable and equitable. Now, this project reflects VTA's strong commitment to affordability, with a policy that ensures 40% of its residential TOD portfolio is affordable and meaningfully affordable set-asides, even in market rate projects. Now, just yesterday, I think it was yesterday at our VTA committee meeting, we just sent another project to the full board for consideration, Berryessa's 95-unit TOD with affirmed housing. Now, affirmed housing was there to testify, and they said financing is locked in and we are ready to build. Now, I know for everyone here, that is music to our ears, and I can't wait to hear more and more of that as we work to fix some of the challenges we have here in our community to build. So with additional TOD projects coming online in 26 and 27, including the next phase that we hope will happen here soon at Tamien, we're laying the groundwork for a more connected and resilient Santa Clara County. To our new neighbors, I know you can call Council District 3 or 6. We will be there to help you. Welcome to the neighborhood. We're excited for this area and to grow with you. We'll work hard to improve your transit options and proud to celebrate this important step forward together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now I'm going to move on to the program that really is about a lot of the partners that really help make this happen in terms of the agencies that worked with VTA. Really, as Supervisor Young mentioned, it was really started about 10 years ago. The vision was 20 years ago, and I remember meeting her predecessor and really talking to her about this project when I was working and had real estate under me and discussing this project. But it really took sort of the vision and then bringing together the pieces and then bringing together the partners that we are now going to have speak, and those agencies really working closely together. So one of those key partners is the state of California. And there's a tremendous amount of work to do throughout the state to ensure our residents have affordable, comfortable, safe places to live. And we're grateful for the state assistance that has been provided for projects like the one we're celebrating here today. So please welcome the Director of the California Department of Housing and Community Development, Gustavo Velasquez.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Buenos dias. It's a pleasure to be here. Chris, what an amazing job you guys have done here with Jon Stewart. You know, as you approach the building, it truly is the nicest housing in the area. Arguably, one of the nicest housing in the city of San Jose, and that is just a testament of amazing work that core companies and all of its partners are doing. And I have to say, the best thing about this program today is that there are no tours. And I have to say that, I have to break it to you, but the reason why I say that is because the reason why we're all here, I break it to you, is not folks outside here that are convening, but folks inside. And every single unit is already occupied. And so let's not forget why we are here. Is the individuals, 135 individuals and families who are already making this amazing project home. And it is an honor. You know, the state has invested nearly $30 million in this project, but it is not, I'm not here to, you know, call out the investments of the state, but rather to say thank you for making us part of this vision. For the city, council, the mayor, the county, we heard supervisor and my good friend, Preston from the Housing Authority of Santa Clara, the city council, all of the nonprofit and partners here. This is a testament of the amazing partnership that as a collective you've created to build this unbelievable project. And I would be remiss if I don't acknowledge someone in the audience, because the investment from the state is a product of work between the State Housing Department and the Strategic Growth Council that administer cap and invest dollar, the cap and trade proceeds. So where is Erin Curtis, the Executive Director? Can you stand up, Erin Curtis, the Executive Director of the Strategic Growth Council? And I don't know if you heard the news, but cap and invest dollars now have been reauthorized, and they continue to be, going forward, one of the most reliable source of affordable housing funding going forward, in the order of $800 million a year. So we will be able to continue to support projects like this. The single highest expense that especially low and moderate income families have in California is, you're right, housing. If you put aside for a minute healthcare costs, the second following housing is transportation costs. So this project is emblematic of the things that Governor Newsom and his administration have been touting, want to do across the state, which is making sure that we meet more supply of affordable housing combined with the proximity to transit, especially, I'm glad Councilmember mentioned, clean transit. And that is the objective here. This is where the intersection of affordable housing goals and climate goals coincide. And so we, the state of California, on behalf of Governor Gavin Newsom, we are so pleased to be a part of this. And thank you for this amazing celebration.
All right, Gustavo stole my speaking point. I did want to actually thank Erin Curtis from the California Strategic Council. Actually, stand up again. I want to say that she actually, The work that they've done has been wonderful. We just received 2 additional grants with our developer partners for both transportation infrastructure improvements as well as support in the, for the affordable housing. So thank you so much. We couldn't do it without you. We couldn't do these wonderful housing projects without you and your wonderful agency. So thank you so much. Yeah, she deserves a big hand. So our next speaker represents a company that has been actively involved in affordable housing projects, especially here in the Valley. So I want to please welcome Vice President and Managing Director of Acquisitions for Raymond James Financial, Kevin Kilbane. Oh, Kevin is where? Oh, there he is. He didn't want to sit up front. He wanted to make a grand entrance. Here he comes. Yay!
Thanks for the warm introduction. As indicated, I'm Kevin Kilbane. I head up the West Coast Acquisition Group for Raymond James Affordable Housing Investments. We are one of the largest tax investors in the country. I think this is our 3rd or 4th partnership with core companies. Couldn't be any more proud. 10 years in the making, 135 units, transporting development, half the units under rapid rehousing, multiple sources of financing. Way to pick a plain vanilla project, Chris, and your team. So, there's nothing really plain vanilla in the tax rate business, but clearly it's a collaborative effort among public and private partnerships. We're just one part of the equation. And in collaboration with JP Morgan, who's one of our investment partners, we raised $55 million for this investment. I know that sounds like a hard check to write, but again, we're just one piece of the puzzle. It takes a village with the city, the VTA, the state, the county, and all the other partners involved. My job's made a lot easier when you have a partner like Chris and his team, Vince, Carl, and the rest of the team. You guys always operate with transparency. Obviously, you have relevant experience, but integrity. So when we look at who we put money out to and who we invest with, it's public-private partnerships like this with developers like this leading the charge. So we're clearly so proud to be a partner. And Chris, I know you're not going to call any of my competitors when it comes to phase 2. So I'm just saying that in front of everyone here. So, no, okay. Now we look forward. We've done a lot in California. I head up our West Coast acquisitions, but we invest across the country. But California's been a real key market for us, and it's developers like the core companies that really make my job much more fun and much easier. So congratulations to the whole team, the whole village that was involved in this project. We look forward to just being a part of it and seeing success going forward. So thank you.
It's okay, no problem. Sit over here real quick. Thank you. Oops. Now I screwed up. There we go. I got it. There we go. Got it. Okay. Wait. Can you hear me? Yes, there we go. Okay. Thank you. So our next 2 speakers work in tandem to not only keep our residents in our community from becoming homeless, but to also find comfortable housing that's affordable to all income levels. So please welcome first the Executive Director of the Santa Clara Housing Authority, Preston Prince.
So we already heard what's the best county district. What's the best city district? I live in District 6, so I'm with Mortay on this one, I hate to say. But, so good morning, I am Preston. I'm the Director of the Santa Clara County Housing Authority. For those of you who know me, 1 to 2 minutes is barely enough time for me to make the jokes I want to make. So to keep me on time, I am going to stick to my script, which is also something very hard for me to do. So on behalf of Santa Clara County Housing Authority's Board of Commissioners and staff, I say congratulations to CORE, VTA, and all of the partners for the grand opening of this thoughtful, impactful, and beautiful development that brings housing, transportation, employment, child care, and economic development together. Santa Clara County Housing Authority recently completed its 5-year strategic plan spanning from 2020 to 2025, in which we spent considerable time repositioning the housing authority within the community. A highlight of that report, and we're going to share it in the next month or so, is that we're serving 4,400 more families today than we were 5 years ago as an agency. And that thank you. And that doesn't include the 6,000 plus units that we've done with Measure A and Measure E funds. The second partnership, and I just gave a highlight to that, is that we have provided 3,000 project-based vouchers, a value of $2.7 billion to Measure A and Measure E supported projects. I'm sorry, did I say 2.7? 3.7 billion. So I got to stick to my script. Here at Tamien, here at Tamien Station, Santa Clara County is providing 33 project-based vouchers to families. Yes, we're very proud of the investment that we are making. We love how it helps with the affordability for the families and creates revenue for CORE to leverage more financing. But what we are emphatically proud of and excited about is that it is families that we serve who are seen as vital and integral members of a thriving, inclusive community. So congratulations, VTA, congratulations, CORE, and to all of the partners who made today possible. And most importantly, Gustavo is so right, welcome home to all of the families who now call Tamien Station their home.
Thank you, Preston. So our County Housing Authority and the county's Office of Supportive Housing are a dynamic team to make an impact to our community. And the fact that this community has stepped up and raised almost $1 billion in tax revenues to be put toward affordable housing through 2016 Measure A is a monumental achievement. The Office of Supportive Housing helps manage those funds, and I'd like to ask the director of that department, KJ Kaminsky, to say a few words.
Thank you. So happy to be here on behalf of the Office of Supportive Housing. And first, I just want to say thank you to the Board of Supervisors for making Measure A happen, and thank you to our voters. We have so far, the board has approved 65 projects with Measure A affordable housing bond funds. This is our 36th in operations and 12 more under construction. And being next to a VTA station, I think it's appropriate to say we're on track to deliver over 6,600 units. But really what that means is when all of those are in operation, it means 20,000 people will have safe, stable home to be in. That's why we do this work. And in San Jose alone, there are 39 developments that will be home to over 4,000 households. We are so proud to have invested $25 million in this project, and we know it has taken the work of dozens of people to make this happen. This work is not easy. I look across and know how many people you know, so many of you. Blood, sweat, and tears in this project. And it's especially hard right now when our federal funding is under threat. We are hearing a push away from evidence-based solutions like Housing First that we know work. This project is evidence and a shining example of that, that commitment to Housing First and to programs that we know are critical. I'm so proud to be working in a community that is maintaining that strong commitment. And also so proud to be working in a state that has has maintained such a strong commitment to the work that we do together. The Affordable Housing and Sustainable Communities program that was reauthorized is exactly the kind of long-term, reliable, sustainable commitment that we need at the state level, and we are so grateful for the leadership of the state, Gustavo, Aaron, and others for your partnership. And we know that our ability to leverage those ASIC funds locally is largely due to the leadership at the VTA. And we're so proud that this is one of many projects that we have in the works with VTA together. So thank you to the city, the VTA, the state, the Housing Authority, and our partners at CORE. Again, one of many projects that we have working together to make these homes a reality for so many of our neighbors. On the OSH team, I just want to say thank you and give a shout out to Jimmy and Kieran and Stefan and Natalie and others that worked on this project. They're the ones that do the work that make this happen, and want to say welcome home to our neighbors at Tamien Station.
Thank you, KJ. In addition to Measure A, the City of San Jose provided $17 million in funding for this project, and I want to introduce the Deputy Director of San Jose Housing Department, Banu San.
Morning, everyone. Unlike Preston, I don't talk too much, so that's why I have a script. Thank you all for being here to celebrate the opening of Tamien Station, a project that represents not just new housing, but the values we share as a city: equity, opportunity, and thoughtful collaboration. On behalf of the city, I want to welcome our residents, our community partners, and our elected leaders to this important milestone. I'm especially proud of Tamien Station, a project that I helped lead from its earliest stages. Seeing it completed today, knowing the families and individuals who will soon call it home, are actually calling it home because they're all moved in, is deeply moving. It's a moment of pride and fulfillment that makes all the work and challenges and the long hours worthwhile. This project is also personal for me. I grew up in teacher-subsidized housing and saw firsthand how access to public transportation supports stability and daily life for everyone. For my family, transit wasn't just about getting from one place to another. It was about how my parents got to work and how they managed daily life. Having a stable home near transit made a real difference. And that perspective makes the completion of this project especially meaningful for me. Today we're opening 135 new affordable homes designed for individuals and families with a full range of unit sizes, studios to 3 bedrooms. These homes are steps away from the Tamien Station, making it easier for residents to connect to jobs, schools, services, and community resources throughout San Jose. This is a true example of a transit-oriented development where housing and public transit can come together to support daily life. Projects of this scale and complexity are only possible through strong collaboration. The City of San Jose contributed around $17 million in construction to permanent financing, funded through LOMOD's Measure E and inclusionary housing funds, along with the issuance of a $66 million tax-exempt bond. In total, our investment represents around $30 million of the development costs, showing how public dollars can leverage significant private and regional and state resources. Before I thank our partners, I want to recognize the Housing Department team, Chelsea, Lisa, and Can. This project reflects your persistence, judgment, and care over many years. I'm deeply grateful for your work and proud of what we've accomplished together. I also want to acknowledge our partners, Citibank, County of Santa Clara, County of Department of Housing and Community Development, Housing Authority, the Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority, and Core Builders, and many other partners for their support. I want to recognize the core companies, Chris, and your amazing team for navigating the complexity of this project throughout the city. I know it's not easy. And working collaboratively across multiple city departments to bring it to completion. I want to recognize Councilmember Anthony Torrijos and his leadership of Council for District 3, whose support for transit-oriented affordable housing makes projects like this possible. Tamien Station shows what's possible when housing, transit access, and community needs are aligned. It reflects the kind of city we're working to build, one where opportunity and community are closer to home. To the residents who are calling this place home, welcome. We are honored to celebrate this milestone with you, and thank you all for being a part of this achievement, and congratulations to the opening of the Tamien Station Park.
Okay, I'm going slightly off script just here. I just wanted to say, as a transit agency, I really want to thank all the partners that we have. But as a transit agency, we definitely are leading in the industry in the nation on affordable housing and really partnering. And that is because of the leadership of our board, and the board being made up of the cities and the county, and their purpose in wanting to drive the needs that we have in our county in a number of ways, but affordable housing being such a critical issue. I also want to thank Jessie Solis, O'Malley Solis, and have her come up and speak to just a couple words on this, since she is our Director of Real Estate and also manages all of our long-range strategic planning now. Jessie.
Thank you, Carolyn. Today is a homecoming for the people who live here, but all of us as community members, the intention that went into making this day possible. I want to make sure that we acknowledge all the people who worked hard day in and day out for the last 10 years to make this project happen. If you worked on this project, please stand up. If you worked on it in any way, please stand up. If you are standing, please wave. If you are already standing, please wave. Talk about taking a village and the pride that we all have in this homecoming here today. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for the intention that went into this moment. I want to thank Ron Golem, who's my predecessor. I see him in the back. He helped start this effort and this project. And all of our VTA, TOD team members, please double stand up and thank this crew. This is one of the best teams in VTA, so we're so excited about all of the efforts that you've done. A few stats to share. Our transit-oriented development program is going to yield 12 million square feet of development activity in our county. That's going to yield 7,000 new homes. At least 3,500 of those are going to be affordable homes. 20,000 people are going to get housed on VTA land. 14,500 new daily riders are going to be coming from these sites and getting on transit, and we're so excited. Fare box recovery from our TOD sites is going to be over $23 million in annual revenue for our agency a year. Our ground lease revenue from this program is going to yield $60 million a year for our agency, so that we can make sure that we are focused on transporting and servicing our transit riders, which is VTA's core mission. And so such a pleasure to be here, and thank you, Carolyn, for your leadership in making this all happen. So thank you.
Yeah, I really want Jessie to be able to highlight just some of the things that we're doing, and she'll probably be on the national speaking tour. Everybody wants to hear Jessie come and speak about this and how we're actually doing it in this county. But I also want to have sort of my, I'm not going to say partner in crime, she is my fellow general manager running the other large transit operation here at Tamien, Michelle Bouchard, the Caltrain Executive Director. Thank you.
I do feel so much affection for Carolyn, but I'm hugging her mostly because I want to wear that coat. It's been so cold. Look, it is so amazing to be part of this event here and also to be part of this development. And I really think that, so much has to go out to VTA for their leadership and their leadership in creating this Phase 1, amazing affordable housing in an environment when it's really hard to get housing done at all. And so this speaks volumes to, putting your money where your mouth is. And it's been so great to hear all about the connection between housing and transit. I mean, Caltrain is a train, but what it really is Caltrain represents the communities we serve and the riders that we serve. And so I am just so proud that our service, along with VTA, is going to be able to provide transit rides for this community right here. We're going to provide access to every single community on the peninsula. You can get on a Caltrain here and in just under an hour get all the way to San Francisco. And transit is all about access. access to jobs, to school, to events, and we're so proud to be able to provide that access. You know, about a year ago, a little bit more than a year, we finished the electrification project. And I will say there is no better time to be living next to a Caltrain station with Caltrain frequency, but more than that, quiet trains and trains that are completely GHG free. So we are so happy to have VTA as a partner. Carolyn, I'm so happy to have you as a partner. I invite everybody to hop on the train. I will say, we're doing a bus bridge right now because we're replacing a bridge, but so, not today, but very soon. You will be able to access some of the state-of-the-art trains that all of you have invested in. So again, congratulations and thank you so much.
Thanks, Michelle. So as we come to the end of our program, we pause to acknowledge that this land was stewarded by Native peoples for generations before it was taken from them. So today, we are honored to welcome Andrew Galvin, who will offer a blessing to ground this moment in remembrance, respect, and gratitude.
How many of you know where the word Tamien comes from? Tamien is the original name, the Ohlone word for San Jose and Santa Clara and this whole area. If you know, when Mission Santa Clara was established, the Franciscan Fathers wrote, "We built Mission Santa Clara at a place the Indians, the natives, called Tamien." So Tamien is the original name of this area, the Ohlone people. And I am an Ohlone. And I'm very happy to see this responsible reuse of our land for housing, because this was an Ohlone village right here where we are today. So I'd ask you to take a moment and to think of all peoples who need housing. Any type of housing, anywhere. But to think about the Ohlone who lived here, who died here, who were buried here, who continue to live in this area. Behind me, towards, if you're looking at the building itself, you're looking east. And towards the east is where the sun rises each day. And so we ask our grandfather, the Great Spirit, Papa Dios, Lord Jesus, whoever you call that creating being, think of that person, that entity, and ask that entity to bring all kinds of goodness to this. Let hospitality be the main word that comes from this place. Let Tamien Station be like it has been for thousands of years. Home. A good home, a happy home, a home that is warm, a home that it gathers peoples on holidays to celebrate, a home that too knows the comfort even at times of sadness. And so we ask Grandfather to bless this place, to bless it, to make all who live here happy in their moments, to comfort one another in sad moments. And I ask you all to take a moment to think of all who have lived here before, to all who are now housed here happily, and to all who may move in at other times, as well as all the other projects we talked about today, to bring success, to bring warmth and love in a very happy home. And we are grateful to all who have worked here, all who built this place, all who tired and went home at the end of a work day building this building, because we now know of the people who live here, who are not cold inside the building, but have heat, who have a shelter, who have all those things that each one of us want for ourselves and our families. So Grandfather, Great Spirit, Papa Dios, Lord Jesus, we ask you to fill this place with your presence, and fill your presence in all of us, that we reflect the warmth of your love one to the other. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. That was very poignant. So that's our program for today, and I'd like to invite our presenters and everyone here today to the front of the building as we cut the ribbon. And afterward, please enjoy the entertainment we have for you, have some food, and take a look at some of the images of our new apartment building. And thank you for joining us.